comes the thunder.
Good morning, my dear friends, and welcome to beautiful Surfside, California. I know you think I'm crazy. I'm saying beautiful, and it's ominous. It's nasty. There's rain falling, and the wind is just starting to pick up, but that wind is going to intensify as this day goes along. Certainly no day to be out on the water. And as you look over at the jetty there, the waves are crashing up there, so surf fishermen need to beware also here today. So much to cover. The Independence looking for bluefin. Down below, did they find anything at all? The Grunion, did they show up last night? And how about that intro with my grandson Finn and my son Patrick, just waiting to see how Finn was going to react to the thunder. And with that laughter, man, that kid's going to be an outdoorsman, a waterman, that is for sure. All right, let me get set up. Whoa, that looks rainy down that way toward Huntington Beach. I'll get set up and we'll see how much of this we can do with you this morning. Be right back with the MB. They're even talking about Friedman Adventures in mainland China. A teacher symposium here recently near Shanghai had a whole expose on Friedman Adventures and yours truly. Before we get started on today's morning briefing, don't forget if you're headed to Ensenada, you're going to want to give Zeke Casas a call. Only 15 minutes from downtown, but just check out that spectacular view while in Ensenada, Baja California Norte. And if that garage door is giving you a problem, then you're going to want to call your garage door man. That's Joe Welker. Tax problems? Nobody better than our friend Tim Marquez. Tim's been doing taxes for 35 years. Give the tax man a call today. And for your heating and or air conditioning needs, you're going to want to talk to our dear friend John Lopez at Efficient Heating and Air Conditioning. Hey, good morning, my dear friends. Welcome to Surfside. It's starting to rain. Looks ominous out this way. It's really, really dark as I take a look behind me. Out toward Catalina Island, of course, it's kind of nasty looking out that way. Also, it's just one of those rainy days in SoCal. We don't have all that many. And really, the rain is the least of our concerns. It's the wind that's coming up here this afternoon. And unfortunately, it looks like it's going to blow for a few days. We'll have to see just how long that all lasts. You know what time it is. It's time for the morning briefing. Good morning, my friends. Oh my God, is that good? And is it great to be with you all? Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day to join Friedman Adventures right here. Of course, there was some great intro stuff. Finn, my grandson, I loved his reaction to the thunder, and also being featured in near Shanghai, China. They were talking about Friedman Adventures and yours truly at a teacher symposium. That was great stuff also. Hey, if you check out the thumbnail today, that's kind of a partial photo of the new t-shirts for the El Patron out of Long Beach Sport Fishing. New engines, new t-shirt, new everything on the El Patron. She's going to start running here shortly out of Long Beach Sport Fishing, www.longbeachsportfishing.org. Let's look at this ocean. Doesn't look all that bad, but it's going to worsen here in a hurry. And in terms of the Grunion run tonight, could be dubious, that is for sure. All right, May the 30th, we've just added an Island Spirit trip out of Ventura Sport Fishing. Island Spirit, May the 30th. That could be surface action, calico bass, barracuda, could be more rockfish, whitefish, sheephead, all kinds of stuff. Keep that in mind. And also 2 live shows tonight. We've got Tackle Shop Confessions for you at 6 p.m. Scott Buchert, says he's going to show up. First, he said with a whole bunch of food. He was going to be very generous. He's going to take care of everybody. He wanted everybody to know how much he appreciated him, Sam De La Torre and everybody else. And then last night he said, I don't think I'm bringing anything. And now this morning, he's bringing a whole bunch of stuff again. So it's going to be a wild night. Thank God for Mike the Cranker, Crankovich, who came to the rescue and said, take it easy, Scott. We'll go get some pizzas at Costco. We'll take care of it. So it's going to be a wild evening. Now, Scott did say, and he hasn't come off this yet, he's bringing a birthday cake for Paulina, my co-host down in beautiful Mexico. So we'll be singing happy birthday to Paulina on Tackle Shop Confessions tonight. And at 4 p.m. we'll be live from 22nd Street Landing in beautiful San Pedro, California. We'll check out all the boats down there with my dear friend, Danny Cadota. Captain Danny Cadota has decades of experience in this business, so we'll be going over that and a lot more. If you don't mind, hit that like button, share these videos everywhere. Make sure you subscribe to the Freedman Adventures YouTube channel and tick that little bell. You'll be notified when there is new content. Also, you can follow us on Facebook, on TikTok, on Instagram, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. Thanks again for being here. All right, let's jump into it with you all. The Independence is rolling down the Baja Coast, enjoying great camaraderie with everybody on board. What a great crew the Independence out of Point Loma Sport Fishing in San Diego has. They are on a 16-day trip. They're going to travel for about 3 days and get down to 1,000 miles. But on the way down, they are keeping their eyes peeled for bluefin tuna, for anything that might get them to stop, and also give us a preview of what's to come on 5-day trips. We have one April the 21st through the 26th. Rolling on down, they have not found anything interesting so far, and this morning they're down there at about 480 miles. So we'll keep our eyes on this for you very, very closely and keep you all informed. Don't forget that 5-day trip, only a couple of spots left. April 21st through the 26th. Love to see you on board that one. All right, Mexico, we've been talking about all the yellowtail that have been around. Baja Pirates, Dan La Paz reporting great yellowtail action. Same thing for Tail Hunter International. That's when they can get out. It's windy during this time of the year down there. Cabo San Lucas, we're seeing much of the same. The water's starting to warm up. We've seen a few marlin out of Cabo. We've also seen a few wahoo, yellowfin tuna offshore. But along the coast, we're seeing those yellowtail and sierras and more rooster fish as time goes by. Also yellowtail in Mulahan, Loreto. We see them up in Santa Rosalia. And then we get up here 140 miles below the border. San Quintin has had yellowtail yesterday. Leon Orozco had some nice yellowtail fishing. And Mara Sport Fishing provided everybody in beautiful Ensenada with some great rock fishing. Rockfish being the staple in Ensenada right now, and then every once in a while a flurry of yellowtail. That takes us to the Coronado Islands, which is a stone's throw from Point Loma, San Diego. The San Diego, talking about the boat now out of Seaforth Sport Fishing, had 8 nice yellowtail yesterday for their best score of 2,025. That is great to hear. Happy for the boys on board the San Diego. There's been fish taken on the yo-yo iron, a heavy jig that you sink deep and wind on fast. The surface iron, which goes across the surface of the ocean. You get to see that explosion on the jig in many cases, and also fishing deep with bait, fishing dropper loop kind of rigs for the forkies there. They also had a couple lingcod and a few rockfish, but they're pretty hardcore about the yellowtail on the San Diego. They really wanted to connect, and they did get 8 fish, so that is really great news. We're happy to see that happening, and hopefully we are going to see even more of it as time goes on. Don't forget, on September the 12th through the 14th, you can meet Paulina in Ensenada. My co-host, Baja California, Paulina and I are going to host a group down there, and you are invited. So many of you have already responded. Just text me if you'd like to get on the list when we get everything formalized, the itinerary and the cost and everything else. We'll send you a text. Text me at 657-227-6459. Same number if you want to get on that May 30th Island Spirit trip out of Ventura. So tomorrow, big day in Southern California. Rockfish season finally opens. People are singing praises, except for one thing, and this weather is supposed to worsen. Sometimes I don't even look at precipitation, rain. I'm always looking at wind and the ocean surface. It's going to get nasty here this afternoon, especially this evening. It is going to get snotty and windy and crappy and dangerous to be out on the water for a couple of days. Not everywhere, but mostly offshore and even along the coast here. It's going to be pretty nasty. Doesn't look like we're going to get a whole lot accomplished, at least for a few days. Now, we have a trip on the Island Spirit on Friday that, to be perfectly candid with you, looks like a go, but this weather is really, really inconsistent right now. We're going to watch that very closely. We're going to have a live show. I told you Tuesday. I'm thinking more like Wednesday morning. Wednesday morning, I'll go live with Daniel Hadaway, the captain of the Island Spirit, to let you all know how that trip is looking. We are a go as it stands right now. The weather looks like it's going to be pretty good, but I don't want to take you out there and beat the hell out of you on a trip if we don't have to. If we have to postpone, we will. Looks good right now, but that's why I'm scheduling this on Wednesday. Now, I will do that live with Daniel on Wednesday morning. We'll get a better look at the weather, what kind of tackle you're going to need, where it is we're going to be able to fish, and that show will immediately be archived. So it's not like if you're on our trip, you have to tune in to catch the live, but you'll be able to catch it a little bit later in the day. So rockfish season open, but man, I'll tell you, things aren't looking all that great because of the wind. The weekend, however, and right after that, it's looking absolutely beautiful. Looks like kind of a Santa Ana condition that's going to manifest itself. I mentioned the Grunion. We've got a couple more nights of Grunion runs going on. I heard Grunion down there in San Diego. I heard Grunion here in Surfside, California, up there in Cabrillo Beach. It's so cool to see those little fishies come up on the beach. Now, tonight, it's supposed to be really windy, which could mean it could be really dangerous. So I ask you to keep that in mind. If you're Grunion hunting, this will be, let's see, wait a minute. Yeah, tonight, last take. And in fact, once the clock ticks past midnight, it's April 1st, you're not allowed to have any Grunion. So it's a dicey night in terms of possessing Grunion. You can only keep 30. You have to have a California fishing license if you're 16 years and above. You can't use anything but your hands to apprehend those little things. And once again, I ask you to be very careful as the rain is starting to fall a little harder here right now. So once again, Grunion tonight and tomorrow night. For the last take is tonight before midnight, so be careful about that. Surf fishing, well, we're taking a back seat there also because it is going to get a little bit breezy. The weekend, however, is going to be great, and we're going to have a warming trend, and it's going to get really beautiful into Monday and Tuesday. It looks like, to me, it could be really gorgeous here along the Southern California coast. We're going to be watching that for you very, very closely. There's been mostly barred perch from below the border in Rosarito Beach and down there in Mexico, where the bar perch fishing is fantastic. We've seen a lot of that up here. We'll see what Mother Nature gives us in terms of water temperatures. One can only surmise that it's going to be much cooler with this water, with this wind. It will reduce water temps, so we're probably going to be catching barred perch, but there's been a few halibut, and with the Grunion run, you get all kinds of predators in here, leopard sharks and guitar fish and butterfly rays and corvina and yellowfin croaker and spotfin croaker. It all moves in here to feed on the Grunion. Add to the wind, we are in a La Nina, and a La Nina produces much colder weather and much colder water temperatures. I'm losing it this morning, aren't I? Much colder water temperatures. So we are in a very cool kind of year right now. We'll see where that all takes us as we go along. I want you to remember also, today is the last day to save 20% on a trip on the Island Spirit. All you have to do is call the landing. Call the landing right now. Book any trip for the rest of the year. Any trip. And you'll get 20% off. It ends today. I would say at midnight, but let's say 6 o'clock while there's somebody still in the office. 805-676 888-834-74. And of course, keep that in mind. 2 live shows for you tonight, 4 p.m. The Danny Cadota Show with Captain Danny Cadota from 22nd Street Landing. Tune into that. And then tonight, who knows what's going to happen with this Scott Buchert nonsense going on. It's going to be a fun night. We're going to have a little potluck down there. If you'd like to join us, come on down to Island Tackle in Carson, California. Be there around 5:30. That's when we're getting set up and ready to go. Bring something to eat or Scott's going to chew you out. He doesn't want to be the only one who's a kind and generous man. He doesn't want to do that. So make sure you bring something or Scott's going to yell at you tonight. Going to be a lot of fun. Tackle Shop Confessions tonight. Sam De La Torre and yours truly. We'll be answering questions and having really a lot of fun with all of you and having some great grub afterwards, it sounds like, and singing happy birthday to my co-host in Mexico, Paulina. That also is going to be great. All right, my friends, what can I tell you? It's another beautiful day. I know you think I'm crazy. A little bit of rain falling. It's kind of dry right now. The wind's not that bad quite yet. Feels like about 10 knots to me if I had to take a guess. But tonight's going to be a windy night, and tomorrow is going to be really, really nasty if the forecast holds true. We'll watch long range. We'll continue watching here where it's mostly sculpin and whitefish, but that'll all change with rockfish season opening up. And of course, I'll be live tonight with Danny and Sam. Take care. Have a great day. And I hope to see you really, really soon.